preparing for IGNOU MBA second semester exams and especially for MMPC-010 Managerial Economics, then this video is going to help you a lot. So in this video, I am going to discuss the most repeated questions from the previous year question papers. So I will be discussing that. I have compared the question papers from 2021 to 2025, and from each year there are 2 exams, and from those all question papers I have curated the most important questions. So let's go to the first most important topic. So the first topic is nature, scope and principles of managerial economics. So you have to focus on the what is nature and scope of managerial economics, linked with other disciplines, fundamental economic principles. So many students think that the subject is difficult because it includes graph, demand analysis, market structures, elasticity, cost functions and economic concepts. But if you analyze the previous year question papers, like from June, December, from the previous years semester exams, you can see that it now repeats many questions. So it now repeats many concepts again and again in a different question format. So if we focus on the main concepts that are asked again and again, we can score a good mark, like above the pass mark. We can get actually a good mark from above the pass mark by just concentrating on the previous year question papers. So the exam is going to start from the June, so we doesn't have that much time to study the entire book study material that is provided by the IGNOU. So we just have to concentrate on the previous year question paper, and I am like damn sure that you can pass the exams by just concentrating on the previous year question papers and the most important concepts. So we should in this topic we should focus on the scope of the management economics, opportunity cost, what is opportunity cost, discounting principle, what actually is the discounting and how is the discounting principle, equity marginal principle, profit maximization, value maximization. Okay, these are the topics that you have to focus, and in optimization techniques and decision making under risk, so we have to focus on the constrained and unconstrained optimization, derivatives and partial derivatives, decision under risk, risk averse and risk seeking behavior, decision tree analysis. So I would suggest all you to study the graph related to these things, and also the examples. Like even if the IGNOU questions ask the example or not, you just write the example. So you can increase the length of the answer, also brings more value to your answer. So these are the questions that have been asked from the these particular topics, that is the derivative and partial derivative, optimization techniques, constrained and unconstrained optimization techniques. So don't go to the exam without looking what is derivatives and partial derivatives or constrained and unconstrained. So what is a decision under risk and what is a decision tree? Decision tree all we have learned in the previous semester, so please refer it. Okay, so the next topic is demand analysis and elasticity. So demand analysis and elasticity, the main topics are demand function, determinants of demand, price elasticity, cross elasticity, arc and point elasticity. So the questions that have been asked from these topics are like what is firm demand curve and market demand curve. So if they ask these kind of questions, don't forget to draw the graph, okay, the curve graphs for these questions. So that will actually increase the mark, and if it doesn't draw the graph, it can reduce the mark. So yeah, what is variables included in demand function? Variables included in demand function. So these questions have been repeated. Okay, so make sure that you learn what is the demand function. Okay, and what are the variables included or influencing whatever it is. Like learn what is the demand function and the demand curve, also market demand curve. Like Again, here it is asked what's a market demand curve and individual demand curve, relationship between demand, prices, elasticity, and revenue. Then price elasticity of demand and determinants, income elasticity and cross elasticity, R price elasticity, and point price elasticity. And IGNOU ask for short note questions like they give like maybe 6 or 7 points, and they will ask us to write the short notes from like maybe 3 or 4 points. It includes income, taste, and preference as is some determinants of demand. So the next topic is demand forecasting and regression. So here I'm just going and saying the most important topics and in which all question papers it has been located. So you can predict that these questions will be appearing for this exams, also this exams in June 2026 terminal examination. So I am just discussing the questions only. So please do like, share, and comment. If you want a detailed answer analysis question video, please do comment so I can put the video. Okay. So the next one is demand forecasting and regression analysis. So another very important section is demand forecasting and regression analysis. So the repeated questions include regression analysis, demand forecasting techniques, expert opinion, and surveys. So regression analysis is extremely important because it appeared multiple times from 2022 to 2025. So you should study what is the meaning, what is the process of regression analysis, what are its advantages, and what are its managerial applications. Okay. So the next topic is production function and Isoquants. So now coming to another high weightage area, production function and Isoquants. So very important topics include production function, Isoquants, MRTS, short run and long run productions, and technical versus economical efficiency. Okay. So look, you can see here like the production function has been asked multiple times in this question paper. So there is a high chance it can be also asked in the coming June 2026 question paper. So learn what is the production function, learn the graph and the things related to production function like production isoquant, MRTS, short run, long run, variable inputs. Okay. What are the variable inputs, what are they related to the production function, learn it. Okay. So the next one is cost analysis and break-even analysis. Here break-even chart is extremely important for diagrams. Okay, we have to learn what is a break-even chart, how we can draw the break-even chart, what are the important points that have to be mentioned in the break-even chart. So we can even if they doesn't ask for a graph, when the break-even analysis is asked or cost analysis is asked, we can put that in our answer sheet, which brings a lot of value, and obviously the invigilator would be giving you marks for that. So in this area, what is short run cost functions, long run cost functions, economic versus accounting cost, explicit versus implicit cost. These things can be asked for like short run questions also. So be thorough with it. And what is break-even analysis, break-even chart? This is very much important, like this break-even chart. Okay. And next one is like operating leverage. So like as you can see, a lot of questions like each year they have been asking questions from this particular topic. What is like cost concepts, study the different cost concepts, what is a break-even analysis, long run, short run, economic cost, accounting cost, all these things you have to learn. Okay. Next thing is market structure. So the market structures are compulsory topics for preparation. So you should definitely study perfect competition, monopoly. What is monopoly competition? What happens in a monopolistic competition? Oligopoly. What is oligopoly? Like there are like different people who is controlling the market. Okay. Then there is king demand curve, entry barriers for the market, price and output determination. So questions on monopoly and oligopoly are repeatedly asked. So learn what is monopoly, what is oligopoly, what are the main differences between monopoly and oligopoly, what are the examples. Give examples, even though they doesn't ask it. Give examples for monopoly and oligopoly. Like give them the realistic examples from the Indian economy itself. So and also prepare for price and output determination. What are entry barriers, price discrimination. So third degree price discrimination was asked recently, so it is highly important. Okay. uh, yeah, as I said, this third degree price discrimination was recently asked. So learn about what is price discrimination, third degree price discrimination, price leadership, pricing method. These are very important. Don't skip these topics. Okay. So recently they have asked like the third degree price discrimination. Hmm. Now the last topic is economics of scale and scope. So the important areas are economics of sale, diseconomies of scale, economies of scope, real and pecuniary economics. Okay. Some of the questions have been asked from these topics, like what is economies of scale and difference between the economics of scope. So learn what is economics of scale and economics of scope differences, what is economics and diseconomics of scale, and what is real and pecuniary economics of scale. Okay. Next one is game theory. It has been asked in one of the short note in December 2024 questions. So what is prisoner's dilemma? Just refer that. And what is the strategic behavior in oligopoly? That also you refer, okay? And has been asked one time in December 2024 as a short question. So the most repeated and highly important topics for exam. Like if you are going for exam, you make sure that you have referred these topics. Without referring these topics, you just don't go for the exams. Like at least learn these topics without like learning. What I'm trying to say is that like if you are trying to learn for exam for maybe like a week ago or like 3 or 4 days ago, learn these questions. Okay, these important topics. Make sure that you have learned these topics. You have something learned so that you can write at least half a page. Like half a page is not really enough. Like ask for this maybe like 4 or 5 questions for 20 marks please. So you just learn the things, examples or the graphs related to it, and the whatever like advantages, disadvantages, what are the managed applications for these and these theories. Okay, so the very high important priority topics are demand analysis and elasticity, cost analysis and break-even analysis, market structure, production function and isoquants, regression analysis and demand forecasting, principles of managerial economics, price discrimination, decision making under risk, economies of scale, optimization techniques. So these things you have to learn. Okay. So these are the topics that are very important and which has been repeatedly asked from 2020 to 2025, and these questions have very high probability for upcoming now MBA exams, second sem MBA exam. So please make sure that you at least learn these topics and go for the exams. Okay. So that's for all for today. So if you need other subjects, important questions and previous year question paper analysis, please do comment below and like, share and subscribe the video. Share this video to your friends who are learning this IGNOU and who are in MBA second semester. Okay. Goodbye.